All right. Good evening. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Geekly Goods Roundup. This is our 56th Sunday. I'm so happy and proud to be doing this for you guys. Every Sunday night, we talk live film news. We got a lot of awesome stuff to talk about. We took a break last week because of Super Bowl 58. But during Super Bowl 58, we had a slew of trailers come in. I mean, Deadpool 3, A Quiet Place Day 1, Godzilla vs. Kong, Wicked, lots of great stuff. And lo and behold, this just a couple of days ago for Valentine's Day, we had the Fantastic Four finally confirm their cast after a long slew of rumors and this and that, and Adam Driver, Margot Robbie. We finally landed on a solid cast. But without further ado, we do have a special guest for tonight. Let me bring on Mr. Richard Nebens from a Direct. He's an editor and writer for them. He's an awesome dude, awesome guy with a, welcome on the show, Richard.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you guys bringing me on. I've been talking Deadpool all week. This is literally my fourth different show that I've been on talking about this trailer. I'm excited to get into everything else too. And no, again, thank you so much for having me on. This is gonna be a fun night.
You're welcome. Glad to see you again, man.
You too.
And of course, our man Leo.
What's going on, guys? Good to be here, man. Richard, so good to have you, bro. Like, honestly, love the Direct, love the website, love your writing, bro. So honestly, I'm just so glad to have you on here, man, and to talk some freaking Marvel, man. We're some Marvel heads on here, so it's gonna be a fun time, y'all. Really
let me correct myself. Senior writer, my fault. Senior writer. I gotta give credit where credit's due. Yeah. Senior writer for the Direct.
I am the old guy at this site, so that name does work out.
So yeah, guys, check out the Direct. It's thedirect.com, right?
Yep, thedirect.com. And awesome. Shout out Leo. Thank you so much for bringing me on, man. This is literally the first time that me and Leo have actually talked face to face before. We've been Twitter friends for a long time in the same groups and everything. And then Loretto and I did a fun show a long time back. I don't think they ever got actually published on air, but this is our second time working together, and this is great. We're gonna have a really fun time.
It's like Pulp Fiction. Like me and Richard worked on a pilot that never saw the light of day.
Totally.
We just don't have a cool tomato joke like Uma Thurman does. So.
Oh man, yeah.
But yeah, so welcome in, guys. We got a lot of great news. But first up, we got.
Oh, that's me. That's me, y'all. We got our first segment with. Guys, welcome to Rate Your Hype, where we rate upcoming movies 1 to 10 and TV shows, because we got to get into the first one, and it's actually a TV show, guys. One that we've been waiting for any sort of image, trailer, and very recently we've seen there was a leaked image that went around and a high quality still that went around, and now a trailer finally for X-Men 97, guys, which, come on, y'all, this is going to be hype. X-Men 97. Now, not all of the voice cast will be returning. Unfortunately, the voice actor for Cyclops did pass on, so they have Ray Chase coming in to voice Cyclops. But this will be picking up after the events of X-Men, the animated series. The X-Men face dangerous new challenges following the loss of their leader, Professor X, and it's got Magneto stepping into the leader position now. And this finally got a confirmed release date for March 20th, 2024, which will be, I think, within about a week of Invincible as well. So there's a lot of animated stuff coming around in March. But man, Richard, I'm gonna throw this to you first, man. Scale of 1 to 10. How you feeling about X-Men 97? And what did you think of that trailer, man?
The trailer was awesome. I loved seeing this group of X-Men back. It's really funny with me. Like for my rating, I'm gonna go about a solid 8 for me.
Okay.
But I'll explain my reasoning. For me, I was a little bit young for the original X-Men series. I think the original came out when I was like a year or two old. So I never actually officially got on the X-Men, the animated series bandwagon. So I decided actually in the last couple of days, I just started the series for the first time. So I'm going through season 1 right now. Actually, I had a super cool thing yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw. I got a really fun shout out from Lenore Zan, who plays Rogue in the series. I got a really cool,
oh my god,
really cool Twitter interaction with her. So shout out Lenore Zan. She is awesome as Rogue. I'm loving her work so far. And I'm pumped. I love the X-Men, obviously. The original movies were so much fun. They helped us get to where we are today with all the Marvel stuff that we have now. And our second really animated series from Marvel, but this is the first like revival that we've got. I mean, it's been what 27 years since this series last went off the air. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It looks like an updated version of the original with some new animation, but that kind of same style that we're all used to from the original series. I'm pumped. So solid 8 for me.
And to follow up on that, it's the first title under the Marvel Animation banner, which is a big deal.
Yes,
I think
super cool seeing that logo.
Yeah, they're going to dive into that a little bit more, it seems like. So
yeah. I'm so happy that animation is going to be more emphasized in Marvel. They've got the Spider-Man series coming up. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is what it's called now. I'm like, that's quite a mouthful, but they got that coming up.
So they're stepping away from freshman year?
Yeah, they're stepping away from that one, man. They renamed.
Yeah, it's officially changed.
Yep.
Okay, I was late on that.
Isaac Honda as well. I mean, they've got some great stuff in the works over at the Marvel Animation Department. They've already released What If, which season 2 was better. Season 1's a little, but you know what? I really enjoyed season 2. I like the what ifs and all the concepts, and they got season 3 of that coming out as well. But yeah, Richard, man, a solid 8. That's a good one, man. It looks like the animation just looks like an updated version of the old style. I think I did want it to look a little closer to the older style, but it still has that same old sheen with a new shine, if you will. So it looks pretty good. It looks like it could be pretty good. But Lo, how you feeling, man? 1 to 10. I think I can tell how you're feeling with the shirt and the jacket.
I think we know what's coming here.
I mean, if it's not, I'm just a little bit of a fan. I don't know how obvious it is, but really quickly, we got a lot of people in the chat. I just want to say what's up to everybody. Laser, you already know. Welcome back as usual. Elliot, hello. And he also says he loves the direct. Awesome site.
What's up, Elliot? We interact all the time on Twitter. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's great. What's up, Elliot? Good to see you, man.
Colby in the house. He's gonna go back and forth between Double Toasted. That's cool. We're just glad we're happy to see you, Colby. So thanks for joining us. And
Elliot in the lineup with Double Toasted, man. We're honored, honestly.
Elliot loves animation. It's traditional 2D with a little bit of a 3D mix, and he's at a 9 for his hype.
Love to see it.
Yeah. So for myself, I mean, I'll be honest. When that trailer popped on, man, I jumped out of my chair. I will say though, like as cool as it is to kind of update that style, it is kind of awkward though, because I feel like that specific style for that time period, it was very much of its time. So I don't know if that's going to hinder the action or some of like the action when we actually start watching these episodes. But I mean, it looks fine for what it was in the trailer, especially with some of the cool action stunts they did. That was really interesting to me. Like we had, Colossus always had the fastball special with Wolvie, but now it looks like we got a new move with Gambit charging the adamantium claws of Logan. That's different. And then what's funny, there was somebody on Twitter, I can't take credit for this, but I could not stop laughing. Somebody pointed out that in the final money shot Rogue literally like throws Beast like a rag doll. He's like holding him by like she's holding him by his shorts and she just throws him like a bowling ball and he rolls into his little like stance. It's hilarious if you guys watch the clip again.
Full Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes. But it's like it's not just that, it's the way Rogue's holding him. I think she's holding Beast by his shorts.
Oh my goodness. It's like wedgie toss.
Yeah, he's holding him by like she's holding him like a wedgie, and then she just throws him. Yeah, but I mean that's Rogue. Rogue is just badass. She could do that. She could do that to Beast because she could do that. And also I think my only other gripe was I think we're gonna have some interesting character development here because I know Scott was always on the fence about being like the guy. He was always the leader, but he was always never like fully taking ownership. And I thought that final line was interesting. Like to me. My X-Men. I was like, your X-Men? Not Charles, your X-Men, Scott? I was like, so that's interesting. We'll see where that goes. But I'm at a 9.5. Animation gripes aside, man. I can't wait.
Man, it looks so good. And yeah, it is going to be a lot about Scott embracing the team because naturally it seems like Professor X would pass the team on to Cyclops, but we'll have to wait and see why he chooses Magneto. Now, it's been a while since I've seen the finale of the show, so I'm going to have to go back and figure out, like, okay, what was the basis for passing it on to Magneto? But yeah, it does seem like it's going to be a lot about Cyclops stepping into that role. Man, oh man, I went absolute, like, ape shit when I saw the Wolverine Gambit combo move. That was
so dope.
So good. And then in the beginning of the trailer, very quick, we see a newspaper page with the Daily Bugle and writer Eddie. I'm like, okay, so we got Eddie Brock involved. We got Venom, Spider-Man running around here possibly. Spider-Man 98, what we doing? So I'm hoping that we're going to connect the Spider-Man animated in this as well. And the animation style, I'm glad it wasn't quite What If because there was like a little rumor going around that it would look like What If, and I'm like, okay, it doesn't have that many 3D qualities, so I'm glad that it still really retains mostly a 2D look with some 3D edge to it. I think I agree with you, Lo. I think my gripe is the animation. I actually wanted it to be a little closer to the original animated, so I kind of wanted a little bit of a closer look to the 2D that they had. And at SDCC, like I think 2022. They had this whole presentation and they did like some first looks at the animation style and it looked closer to the 90s one. And this looks updated from those looks. So I'm a little disappointed in that, but everything else looks pretty awesome to me. Like, honestly, I'm at a solid 9. I think it looks great. I love that the trailer incorporated the original theme song. For whatever reason, they didn't get the original composer. So that's strange, but I'm glad they're at least giving us that same vibe, the same song, and not stripping it of its core. It feels like that X-Men. And now I need them to start that first episode and every other episode with last time on the X-Men. I need that. I need the classic back.
Previously on X-Men.
Yeah, previously on X-Men. I need it, man.
Really quickly, Leo, I want to mention you have a really underrated point there because the original series had issues with rights where they couldn't mention Spider-Man due to the rights of the show. They had like other superhero appearances, but it was really like blink if and you miss it kind of stuff. Where the animators were sneaking characters on. Yeah, because the original series had issues with the rights to certain characters. So the fact that they won't have that this time means we could see some really interesting stories.
Doors are wide
Spider-Man pops up in X-Men animated series. I wonder if they didn't even say his name type of deal. Like,
there was like, I think there was an episode where it was like his shadow and like his hand with like a web, but they didn't fully show him. But X-Men appeared on Spider-Man, which was weird. Like,
weird. Yeah,
it was really weird the way that contract stuff worked out. So
crazy.
Yeah. And one thing I can't wait for is I'm like halfway through season 1 right now. I've already gotten to 2 of the all-time memes that are making their way on the internet. The Logan laying in the bed with looking at the picture of Scott and Jean, and then the one of him looking at Scott and Jean in the train station, and he's just like, "Yeah, I'm out." I cannot wait to see what meme culture does with X-Men 97, because if it's anything like the original, I'm betting we are going to get some good updated internet material, and I can't wait for that.
Wait, hold up. So you said you're on season 1. Did you get to Apocalypse yet?
I haven't gotten to Apocalypse yet, but I think I'm close.
That's one of the greatest stills of all time in animation history.
Can't wait for
If you
that.
know, you know.
Yeah, and I love that there's that one scene, I think it's the episode where Wolverine's in like Alaska or something, where part of it he has the sleeves on his uniform, but then it's like only for one shot.
That's funny.
Oh yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I got a quick little skip there. We good?
Yeah.
Everybody good?
Yep, I'm back. I think I'm back.
All right, awesome. But yeah, X-Men 97, man. That's gonna be one to look out for. Y'all will move on to our next one with Wicked, which debuted its trailer during Super Bowl. Definitely didn't see that coming, but it was announced a couple of days before that it would drop. So hey, no complaints there. Directed by John M. Chu, it is based on the 1995 novel of the same name, set in the land of Oz before and continuing after Dorothy Gale's arrival from Kansas. Revolves around Elphaba Thrope, goodness, a green-skinned woman, and explores the path that leads her to become the Wicked Witch of the West, all while forming an unlikely friendship and later rivalry with Glinda Upland, who would go on to become Glinda the Good. Now, this one stars Cynthia Erivo as Elphaba, or Ariana Grande as Glinda, Michelle Yeoh as Madame Morrible, Jeff Goldblum as the wonderful Wizard of Oz. What a casting that's going to be. And this is due out for November 27th, 2024. Can I be honest, guys? I hate to say it. I thought it looked a little cheap. I was kind of looking at it and I was like, oh, this kind of got TV movie vibes to it for me. But I did think the vocals were amazing. I mean, the vocals were phenomenal. Like Ariana and Cynthia are phenomenal singers. So I'm looking forward to the singing. I just thought the kind of look of the movie, the makeup, all that just looked a little TV-ish to me. But hey, maybe it'll blow me away. John M. Chu is great, so I'm looking forward to this. Hopefully it will blow me out of the water because I was like, but I love Crazy Rich Asians. So John M. Chu, I'm excited. I'm still, and with Michelle Yeoh and Jeff Goldblum, still feeling good. Lo, how you feeling about this one, man? 1 to 10.
Yeah, man. Shouts out In the Heights. John M. Chu also did In the Heights.
In the Heights. That's right.
Okay. I love that. And I wasn't really familiar with the musical, but I enjoyed that film. So I think here's my thing. Like, as someone that actually defends Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland, I feel like we're either going to be there for me or we're going to be Oz Great and Powerful from Sam Raimi. And I didn't love that one. So
you're not alone.
Yeah, no, and it's funny because I was so excited going into it. I know Sam Raimi, that was like one of his like things he really wanted to do, and it just didn't work out. But I'm not familiar with Wicked. I've been always wanted to see it. I know it was a big, huge success on Broadway, around the world, and all that. And I imagine the songs are amazing. So I think if at the end of the day, it'll still be a solid picture. But as far as my own personal hype, I'm at like a 6.5. Like I will watch it, but I wasn't head over the heels for the original Wizard of Oz film. And again, I haven't seen Wicked, but on the faith of the music, I do like musicals. So I don't want people to think I'm a musical hater or anything. I do like musicals, so I will watch it. And I think Ariana Grande is okay. I'm not like a stan or anything, but she's cool.
Okay. I like me some Ariana, so I feel it. Richard, how you feeling, man?
Well, it's actually funny too because I have seen Wicked on Broadway. I saw it. I think it was like senior year of high school or something. And shout out for anybody who doesn't know me. I was a band kid growing up, and I actually played some of the music from Wicked in a couple of concerts at school and everything. So that was a lot of fun. I love the music. The show is great. I love the story and everything. I can't lie. I don't disagree on the look of it a little bit. There was some things that didn't look great, but like you said, Cynthia and Ariana, I think are going to be fantastic. Jeff Goldblum, I did not know that he was going to be in this movie, and that actually kind of helps me raise up my my anticipation for it a little bit, because I think any movie with Jeff Goldblum in it just automatically shoots up at least a little bit. Like I love Goldblum. So for me, I'm thinking I'm somewhere in like the 7.5 range. because I love, like I said, I love the show. It's a fantastic story. I really hope the movie is good. And also, this is gonna be just a quick shout out before I toss it to you, Leo. This is I think gonna be the musical theater kids version of Barbenheimer this year, because this comes out the same day as Moana 2 in November, which is also hilarious because it's like 2 days before my birthday, I think. So that might be a fun little like birthday double feature for me or something if I can make it out to that. So no, I'm hoping for the best. I hope it's good.
The people are about to be singing. It's about to be singing that weekend.
Disney and Wicked.
That's
And
awesome.
in the words of Jeff Goldblum, maybe the film will what will you say? Find its way.
Find a way.
And Tyler, yes, I know who Ariana Grande is, but funny story. Like my favorite thing she does, it's not even on her song. It's the Save Your Tears remix with The Weeknd. I love that song.
Oh, so good, man.
It's such a good song.
Man, like you, Lo, I haven't seen the show Wicked. I gotta get on that, man, because musical theater buffs
highly recommend it.
Swear by that musical, so I gotta get on that, man. And it comes here to Denver sort of often, so next time it comes around, I'll definitely be sure to check it out. But for me, I think I'm at a solid like 7, just because the people involved make me extremely excited. Looks aside, really enjoying it. Hey, what's going on, Mike? Listening podcast style.
Hey, he's listening.
Noise.
I appreciate that.
Noise.
All right, y'all. We're moving on to the next one here, which, man, this prequel. Before this trailer, I was like, I kind of want a Quiet Place 3. And then I seen this and I'm like, yo, this actually looks really good. But this time directed by Michael Sarnowski, this is going to be a prequel taking place on the first day of the horrific incident that happens in A Quiet Place. Now it stars Lupita Nyong'o, Joseph Quinn, Alex Wolff, Djimon Hounsou, and it's coming out June 28th, 2024. They dropped a little teaser at the Super Bowl, dropped the trailer a couple of days before, and won't lie, guys, I couldn't put up my trailer reaction, but I absolutely squealed during one part of the trailer. It had me really like anxious and nervous, and honestly, it looks super scary. Lupita Nyong'o, man, why has she not had an Oscar nom yet? She is a phenomenal actress, and every time she's in something horror, it's just automatically elevated for me. She's phenomenal in anything she's in. Richard, what'd you think about A Quiet Place Day 1 trailer? How you feeling, man? 1 to 10.
Well, I will throw out the disclaimer that I'm growing into more of a horror person. I wasn't really much of a horror movie guy growing up, and like, but I'm starting to kind of dive into it more a little bit now with my job and everything, just kind of trying to broaden my horizons and get on track with everything. I thought it looked like a solid trailer. From what I have heard about the first 2, I know John Krasinski and Emily Blunt did a fantastic job with it. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, John Krasinski directed the first 2 of them, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah.
Correct.
So shout out John Krasinski. I love me some Krasinski stuff. This one looked good. I mean, love to be Nyong'o. Djimon Hounsou is awesome. I think the cast is going to be solid. And yeah, I mean, this one was one of the shockingly big horror hits of the last like 5-10 years. Once I see the first 2, I'm sure my hype will grow for it. Right now, I think I'm at a solid like 6.5 or so, I'd say. Like, everything looks amazing. The look of it is fantastic. And it's definitely an interesting story to dive into as a prequel. So definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, man. It's going to take us back to that first day. And I noticed in this trailer, at least, maybe not in the movie, but in the trailer, we see more of the monsters. Like in the movies, I don't want to spoil too much for you, but there's not as much as we see in this trailer. Like they're just like running the streets in this trailer and stuff. Whereas in the movies, it's a little more subtle because the characters have to like move around and be quiet. So it's like a cool change of pace for even the creatures in the lore. But Lo, our resident big horror fan, how you feeling about it, man? This was the director of Pig. Now he's doing his second one here with the
man. I'm hyped because I love the first one. It's a horror classic. And kind of to your point, Leo, John Krasinski took a good page out of Spielberg and did the Jaws style where we really didn't see the creature for almost, I think, maybe 50, 60 minutes in almost. We just saw shadows and little like clips of its like leg or whatever, but we never really saw its full thing until later. And I
reminds me of like Signs a little bit with Mel Gibson.
And seriously, like even Alien had that effect with Ridley Scott and Sigourney Weaver. I think sometimes with horror, like the less you see is it's like it's just the unknown sometimes that
Absolutely.
scares you. But like you said, Leo, I like the change of pace. I like kind of switching up the style because I will say this: part two, I didn't love. I
Oh,
had issues with part two, and what's funny is my favorite sequence from part two was a flashback. So that's why that's a whole nother reason why I'm even more excited for day one. You already took the words out of my mouth, Leo. Lupita is amazing. She needs to be in more things, and not only like Oscars, she just needs to like just get her spotlight more than she already has because she's incredible. Shouts out Alex Wolff as well, my boy from Hereditary and Jumanji. He's also a fantastic actor himself, and I'm excited, guys. I'm at like a solid 9. The teaser got me hyped, the trailer got me hyped, and I'm on board. I loved Pig. Pig was fantastic, so let's go.
yeah, man. It just looks like it's going to really flip the script in the best ways. Give us a little bit more of the lore, but it almost looks like it's still going to keep us in the dark about quite a few things. So, like, don't give us like everything, like, oh, these scientists were in a lab, and just kind of have the monsters show up, have us running away, maybe explain why a little, but keep some things in the dark, keep us in the dark.
Right. Hopefully they don't over-explain, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right. Don't
Yeah.
take us out of the mystery.
Yeah.
I'm at a solid 8.5 myself, though. It looks great. The sound design is fantastic. That's one thing that this franchise does perfectly is sound design and the way it just deadens sound. And here we're going to get a lot more scary sound design. So really looking forward to it, guys.
Should be good.
We're going to round out this segment here with Godzilla X Kong, the new empire, baby. Y'all, I'm so hyped for this. Adam Wingard returns. And you know what? I look at these trailers and I'm like, why in the world are there so many human characters in these? Just make it just these apes and dinosaurs beating the crap out of each other.
It's like the Transformers movies.
Right? Just give us more of the beatdowns. But y'all, the premise here is this latest entry follows up the explosive showdown of Godzilla versus Kong with an all-new cinematic universe pitting the mighty Kong and the fearsome Godzilla against a colossal undiscovered threat hidden within our world, challenging their very existence and our own. Now, Rebecca Hall is back. Dan Stevens is in this one. Brian Tyree Henry is back. But it seems like no Millie Bobby Brown in this one. I'm okay with that. Not that she's a bad actress or anything, but just the human characters, I'm just whatever. But guys, this trailer looked fun. I mean, listen, Godzilla -1, best Godzilla film in a while. Phenomenal film. Just a great film in general where they actually make layered characters and they make Godzilla into this nuclear thing again. But what I love about what the MonsterVerse is doing now is they're like, hey, it's just showdowns, man. Like, we're just going to have a big monster showdown going on. That's all I want. That's all I want from the MonsterVerse. So I'm happy with this trailer. Lo, how you feeling about Godzilla X Kong, the new empire?
I'll tell you guys right now, I didn't love Godzilla v Kong. I think this MonsterVerse is just not for me. I didn't love Kingdom of Monsters, and then that same energy went into Godzilla v Kong the first go round, and man, I don't know what's happening, man. We got the super monkeys, we got Kong with an infinity gauntlet. I don't know what's going on, man, but I'm at like a 5. I mean, look, I'll watch it. But like you said, to me, Godzilla -1 did it right. That's literally the only film better than that one is the original Godzilla, in my opinion. I thought Godzilla -1 was incredible. And like you said about layered characters, that was just beautiful storytelling. The way they came full circle with some of those plot points and the emotional beats that they had in -1. So that's my kaiju movie right there. This one, you guys can have it. Look, enjoy it. I'm not trying to hate on it, but you guys have fun. It's not for me.
Fair enough.
Hey, we get it, man. Listen, Godzilla -1 brought us a nuance to the Godzilla films that we haven't had in a while. I mean, great storytelling, a great score. Tomato.
Is he throwing tomatoes at?
Oh man,
I'm gonna toss this over to you, Richard. How you feeling about Godzilla X Kong, the new empire?
I'd say I'm at a solid like 7.5, maybe 8-ish on hype for this one. I'm getting more into the monster movies too. I actually just recently watched like the original Godzilla from this era with Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen, playing a married couple before they played brother and sister in Age of Ultron, which is still just hilarious to me. I can't stop laughing at that. That was a pretty solid movie. I think they had Bryan Cranston in it, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And then obviously the one with Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson, and Sam Jackson was pretty good. It's gonna be a giant CGI fight between a giant monkey and a giant lizard. It's pretty much everything you could want in a big blockbuster action movie. I'm sure it's gonna be a lot of fun. I remember the last one did pretty well in theaters, if I'm not mistaken. Considering the fact I remember it came out like right near Endgame, which or no, that was two movies ago. There was the Godzilla.
Yeah, that was the monsters.
Yeah, the two movies ago. But yeah, I remember this one had to come out. The last one had to come out during the middle of COVID, which was rough. But this one that's gonna be back in theaters. I think it's gonna be a fun one. It's gonna be a good theater going experience.
Yes.
So I'll say a solid 7.5, 8 for me.
Hey, I feel it, man. I'm with you. This giant CGI monsters. I am pulling up for that. That I know what this is at this point. I'm turning the brain off and I'm going in. I'm just like, I'm ready to just watch some monsters fight.
It's nice to have movies like that you can do that with. You can turn your brain off and just have a fun time.
Absolutely. I'm at a solid 8.5 with this one. Looks like a lot of fun. Just not too much human lore at this point. Listen, leave the human storytelling to Toho with Godzilla -1. Heck, maybe the next one will be Godzilla plus 2. I don't know. But wherever they go with the next one, super excited for that. Man, but great trailers this week, guys. We're going to move into our next segment with...
All right. So as per usual, if you're new to the channel, let's check the box office pulse real quick. And surprise, One Love. Bob Marley, One Love opens strong at $27.7 million for the biopic starring Ben Kingsley Adir, while Sony's superhero tentpole Madame Web debuts with an abysmal $15.8 million. Argyle's kind of hanging on at number 3. They didn't make much. They're in the single-digit millions, followed closely by The Migration and The Chosen. Oh, The Migration. Sorry, Migration. Sorry, Illumination. But this is huge. I mean, not only did Madame Web kind of fall on his face, I kind of saw that coming, but Bob Marley opening really well. We'll see how much legs this one's got. I haven't seen the film myself, but I am interested. I do like Lashana Lynch, and I think the casting's great. He seems like he fits the part. The trailers I've seen, I've always loved. And yeah, like I said, I'm not surprised with Madame Web, but it's actually not that bad considering it's at an $80 million budget. Luckily, they didn't fall into the same trap as Argyle did, going close to $200 million. So Madame Web might maybe profit if we'll see how its legs do in the next couple of weeks. But let me toss this down to our guest, Richard, man. Is this a surprise for you? Because I didn't see Bob Marley taking this weekend.
It's funny considering everything. I'm not too shocked. I think people have been really high on One Love, and like you said, I haven't seen it myself yet, but I've heard very good things about it. I mean, Kingsley Ben-Adir. I gotta say, I did not realize that was him playing Bob Marley, and that's impressive. When I first saw the trailers and everything, I'm like, holy crap, that's him. And that's a compliment to him because I think he's, from what I've seen in the trailer so far, he's gonna do a really good job in this movie. And it seems like that's the case. Actually, one of our guys at the Direct actually has a couple of interview articles out with him, which is super cool. So go ahead to direct.com to check those out. In terms of the other ones, I saw Argyle. That's what, like we were saying, Leo, one of those ones where I could just turn my brain off and have a fun time. I will admit there was a couple of really stupid scenes where they went way too hard. I won't lie. But it was a solid movie. I had a fun time. I loved Sam Rockwell. I loved Bryce Dallas Howard and Henry Cavill and everything. Madame Web, man, I'm not going to go too hard into it, but that just, oof. If anybody, you follow me on Twitter, it's just not a good movie. And I give all the credit in the world to the people who were in it. I know they tried their hardest. I'm not going to rag on you too hard, but my God, is this just not a good movie? And that's all I'm going to say on that. I'm excited to see my. I want to dive into Migration at some point because that one looks like a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm not surprised. It was a pretty good weekend.
You know what's funny is Migration's not bad. It's actually pretty funny, but it's also not like animation's getting so good where it's like you really need to break the mold or really grab our attention to really make an impact. Yeah. So Migration, it was okay. It wasn't a bad movie, but I'm gonna be honest, I could barely remember the third act. So that just says everything you need to know about that. And I also did enjoy Argyle. It wasn't terrible. And I will say this: I think the most entertaining thing I found about Madame Web was Dakota Johnson's interviews and Sydney Sweeney's passionate interview where she was so excited to be upside down and stuff. That was the coolest stuff I saw. More entertaining than the trailers and all that. So.
When the best part of the movies aren't actually in the movie, you got a problem.
Oh yeah. So let me toss this down to you, Leo. Surprise, surprise. Is this were you thrown off by Bob Marley taking this one?
Not at all, because Madam Web was so bad. And like Richard, man, I hate to feel this way about a Marvel movie, but it just was so bad. I mean, and what's weird is that we didn't even get the movie that was advertised in trailers, like at all. So if you show up and you see this movie and you're like, I saw the trailers and this ain't it, I'm not telling my friends to go watch this. I'm not telling family and other friends to go watch this. No way. There's no way. So I'm not too surprised. I still got to catch Migration myself. Still got to see One Love. I'm a little behind on some movies, but I'm hearing some pretty good things about One Love. But Madam Web, it seems to be a universal. People do not like it. I know the Rotten Tomatoes score, I don't know if it still is, but it slipped under Morbius. It's just like, it's bringing to light that Sony and this whole SSU universe is not working. Besides Venom, that seems to be bringing people back. Otherwise, the other movies are just not it. So,
yeah, I'm scared for Craven. I have a soft spot for the Venom movies. I think they're at least funny as hell, and I love the energy that Tom Hardy puts into Eddie and Venom. But after Madam Web, man, I am scared for what Craven is gonna do.
You know, to double up on your sentiment, Richard, bless Tom Hardy's soul, because he tries so hard.
Most of the time he is in a different movie than most of the people have been in those movies, but I love what he does with it and stuff. Venom is one of my favorite voices to try to imitate. Like, try to do that lethal protector with a shit name.
That's pretty good. And Tyler,
so good.
Hey, that's good, dude. You got some voiceover work in your future, man.
Fingers crossed. That's like a dream job.
Heck yeah, man. That's awesome. Tyler's pouring out a Pepsi in Madame Web's honor. Look, guys.
There's a Pepsi logo every other scene, man. They're like literally Adam Scott's character. I don't know if that'd be spoiling it for you, Lo, but Adam Scott's character is like holding a Pepsi can with the logo in front.
Is it just me, or does that can look fake? Does that look CGI'd into you?
It's like,
see, that's just so the more I hear. The more I hear, the worse it gets. And I don't usually try to flex this too much, but the cool thing about being within a cool critic circle and a group of friends that get screeners and stuff, I'm glad you guys can warn me early, because now it's like Akbar, it's a trap, because now I hear it.
It is.
Apparently, they scammed us on a movie that doesn't exist.
They did.
I felt it was my due diligence to see it for my job. I wanted to, do the right thing, go see it for myself. I could not believe that something could be as bad as Morbius, as some people were saying on Twitter. Oh, I don't want to go dive too hard into it, because it's not going to be good for me. And you know me, I do not dive that hard into movies like this, like Madam Web. Madam Web's a special freaking circumstance.
Yeah, and here's the thing about Madam Web is you have a certain corner of film Twitter that you're in, Richard, I'm in, where we try to find the best and the positive in the movie. We try to find the good things about even not so good movies. Even Morbius has the Matt Smith scene where he's just breaking down in that weird goofy dance. It's like there's something fun in that movie. But Madam Web, I'm at a loss. There's just nothing there. But we'll talk Madam Web later. We gotta talk about that, man, because it's
So from one set of a whatever you want to call Sony's universe, let's go to a more positive note. Because after a long time, Marvel Studios has finally announced the cast for the Fantastic Four. They announced it on Valentine's Day. They had this cute little poster here, and it's awesome. We got this retro 60s vibe. We got Herbie in the picture, and we got our cast. Pedro Pascal is Reed Richards. Vanessa Kirby is Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman. We got Joseph Quinn as the Human Torch. And how do I say his name, Leo?
Eben Moss-Backrack.
Eben Moss-Backrack is the thing, and he's
shout out
amazing in the bear.
comicbook.com. Phase Zero, they made sure to say it right. I was listening.
There
to
you
them
go.
break it down.
I was terrified when this came up because I was like, I don't know how to say his name. I don't know how to say his
Eben
name.
Moss-Backrack.
But anybody that's seen the bear knows what's up. This guy is the real deal. He's a phenomenal actor, and I'm not gonna lie, I love this cast. As somebody that loved Joseph Quinn in Stranger Things, I love Vanessa Kirby and everything that she's in. This is great, man. So let me toss this down to you, Leo. Holy crap, did you see this coming? Because this kind of caught me off guard.
Holy crap, baby. I didn't see it dropping on Valentine's Day. That was a great surprise. They definitely wanted to stop Madam Web a little bit. I know Feige came to that podium and was like, guys, we got to put out the Madam Web fire as soon as we can. So on release day, we've got a solution. Let's reveal the cast of this wonderful movie. Man, I am so excited. I'm just like Ben Grimm is in that picture. I'm over the moon about this. I cannot wait for it, man. I mean, in my opinion, I know there's been some squabbles about the casting, and I actually love Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. I love that casting. I think that he has the same age range as Reed Richards, at least the version I would like. I want a more experienced Reed Richards. I want a smart Reed Richards that knows what he's doing, that has been involved in this work for a little while. So I'm glad they're going with a maybe like mid to late 40s Reed Richards. Works for me. Sue Storm, man, so happy to see Vanessa Kirby's name. It would have been kind of funny if it was Margot Robbie, because it's like, you didn't want to have Harley Quinn back, huh? But yeah, I'm so excited for Vanessa Kirby. Joe Quinn seems to be the one that's getting the most heat, and on Human Torch. And honestly, I love that casting because Eddie stole the show in Stranger Things season 4. So I think he's going to play a perfect Johnny Storm. I think he's the best casting we could have asked for, in my opinion. One of the best. There's a couple other names in there that would have been cool, but I love this casting. And then Eben, he was phenomenal in The Bear. I mean, he's going to bring that same energy to the thing. I'm so excited. There's a moment in season 2 where he finally starts like wearing suits as Richie in The Bear. And he's like, I wear suits now. And I'm like, yeah, look at him. And he's in a suit, y'all. So I'm just like so hyped for this. And they're involving Herbie. But not only that, the 60s vibe and feel we get from this poster, I'm hoping we get that all throughout the movie too. Matt Shackman, who did WandaVision, is going to be directing this. I cannot wait for him to just put that 60s imprint all over this. What I want, though, is I want the whole movie to take place in the 60s. Might be an unpopular opinion, but I want it to be in the 60s, and then they get sucked into the greater Marvel universe later actually post-credit. Like, let's just take place in the 60s with this team. Give us that Jetsons vibe. Like, really give us that 60s cool vibe, man. I love the look of the poster. So I'm hoping we get that vibe with the movie, and I'm sure we will. And man, I'm hyped, man. I am over the moon because honestly, the original 2 Fantastic Four movies are fun. Fantastic Four 2015 is a train wreck. I mean, honestly, the first 30 minutes are nice. They're enjoyable. After that, it is an absolute train wreck each and every turn. So I'm really, really glad we're getting a new Fantastic Four, honestly.
Hey, man, you are speaking to my soul. I really hope they kind of dive into their own universe for this first film. I really hope they don't get too crazy with where the Fantastic Four go. But let me toss this to Richard, man. I mean, scale of 1 to 10, like how hype were you when this news dropped? Because it came out of nowhere for me, and I was like, whoa. So.
Oh man, I was at least a 10 when it dropped, because we've been waiting this. I'd given up on expecting when to get it, because I just was not going to expect it really until the movie came out at all. But I was so happy we got it. I'm such a huge fan of the casting. On a scale of 1 to 10 from the casting, I think I'm at like a solid 9.99. I don't know if I can go fully to a 10 because I'm not quite as familiar with a couple of people as I should be. I haven't seen a lot of Joseph Quinn. I got to get through Stranger Things because I've heard he's fantastic in season 4. Eben Moss Backrack. I have a personal reason for not having seen The Bear yet. For anybody who knows me, I used to own a restaurant myself with my wife and her in-laws and everything. And, you know, it was in the middle of COVID, everything. So it didn't work out. It worked out for us in the end. We're all good now. But I don't know if I'm quite ready to reopen those that memory again, because that was a hell of an experience. Even as great as it was, doing all that during the middle of COVID was an endeavor. But I will shout at him because he is in season 1 of Punisher as Microchip also, which I'm very curious to see how the whole canon thing works out now, since the Netflix shows are canon now, what they do with Microchip, if he's going to be around or anything. But I think he's going to be fantastic as a thing. I'm all aboard the Vanessa Kirby trade. She was fantastic in the last 2 Mission Impossible movies.
Yes.
She's really good in Hobbs and Shaw too, kind of an underrated character in that. And I think she's going to be the perfect Stu Storm. And as for Pedro Pascal, it's really funny with him. I was never against him, but it took me a second to think, wait, Pedro Pascal is Reed Richards. And the more I thought about it, and the more I saw fan art of him doing it, I'm like, holy crap, I think he's going to be a really good Reed Richards. I'm all in on this. So I am so pumped for this cast. I'm so glad we finally have it, because we've been waiting for literally 4 years for this since they announced the movie. And give me all of Fantastic Four. And like you said, Leo, I got to shout out Max Shackman. I don't think there's anybody that better to pick to do this movie, because it's set in the 60s. He did such a good job with that stuff in WandaVision, going through different decades and time periods and everything. I don't think there's anybody better to do this movie than Matt Shackman. And the only thing I'll say too, about the time period and everything, what if they do something like what they did? Remember Captain America: The First Avenger, where I think everything but the last scene was set in the 40s. If they go something like that for Fantastic Four, I would be so 100% down. I think this is the perfect era to introduce them in, with the 60s, because their comics, lineage is so tied to that era, with the space race, with space and outer space travel and everything. I am so all in on this movie. I cannot wait. The Fantastic Four are finally in the MCU.
And also, timeline wise, if you look at the MCU timeline, which is getting insane when you start mapping out the 30 plus shows and movies, but if they somehow disappear in that decade, it would make a lot of sense why we haven't heard or seen them in our MCU world. So it makes perfect sense. And WandaVision is incredible. So I think you guys are spot on with that. And really quick, Elliot says he needs Bill Hader to voice Herbie. He thinks the cast is great. Everyone is perfect. He loves the retro look, and he has strong faith this will be the best Fantastic Four adaptation.
I'm gonna throw out a name that I kind of want for Herbie, John Mulaney. I think he'd be a lot of fun. I saw somebody suggest that on Twitter the other day. I can't remember who, but he'd be my pick personally.
What's up, MCU Portal? Welcome in.
Hey, good to see you.
What's up?
Who was Spider Pig? Was that Mulaney?
Yep.
Mulaney, yes.
Okay.
Spider-Ham.
Love that voice. Oh, Spider-Ham, sorry.
Amazing. Yeah. Spider Pig. Spider Pig.
Oh man, nice. You're killing it, Richard. Thank you.
Thank you.
But you know what? I think this would be great. Hopefully, we don't see them enter the MCU proper until a post-credit, maybe even the second post-credit. You know what I mean? So I hope that they really take their time and just let us enjoy the Fantastic Four for where they're at and where they end up. Because
I think they're going to be in King Dynasty and or Secret Wars. We know they're coming. There's no way they're not going to be in those movies.
Oh yeah, well, same thing with the X-Men. There's no way you can do Secret Wars without Fantastic Four and X-Men. But my only thing is, do you guys feel okay with Galactus being the bad? I heard that's the rumor that it's going to be Galactus, and they're looking at Javier Bardem, but it just feels kind of soon, don't you guys think? Or how do you guys feel about that?
Me personally, I'm up and down, and I think Galactus is a huge villain. I think he could be a villain for multiple movies, but I do kind of like the fact that they're not going Doom to start, because I think
Yeah.
I think with everything going on in the MCU, I feel like Doom is probably going to be the new Thanos of the multiverse saga. I feel like he's going to be like the ultimate big bad. So they can set Doom up. I feel like they're going to set him up a little bit in this movie, like just to make sure
Yeah.
he's there and in the movie and everything. But I'm curious to see where they go with Galactus if he does in fact be the villain.
Yeah, I feel like Galactus is a big and aspirational first villain to have. I almost wonder if we do Galactus, but the big bad is actually Silver Surfer or another Herald, and then you introduce Galactus, give us a little bit of Galactus, but we're focusing on Silver Surfer in the movie.
Right. So the same way that Loki was Thanos's henchman, pretty much.
Yeah,
for
something
sure.
to that matter, because then it's like, okay, you still have Galactus, you can set him up for a Fantastic Four Part 2.
Mhm.
And yeah, no Doom. I feel like a setup will be great, but yeah, like no Doom is just way too big to just be squeezing in the movie here.
Right.
Like we saw that
But, you know,
with
who knows?
Fantastic Four 2015, and
Yeah,
let's make Doom right this time.
It's so fun, like manifesting and imagining, because we're so far away from this. Actually, we're like a year out from this movie even coming out yet. But who knows? Maybe Doom's in the post credit or something like that. I could see that's
That'd be
very
tough.
much in the vein of what we're used to. So
We'll see.
yeah, we will. And from one fantastic news to another, the highly anticipated Deadpool 3 trailer premiered at Super Bowl 58 last
go.
Sunday, and it broke the record for the most viewed trailer within a 24-hour time frame. And I thought it was interesting that for all the hype, for all the hoopla, for all the rumors and the set photos and set leaks, we didn't even get Wolvie in the trailer, which I thought was kind of funny. We just get this little silhouette of his claws. But to be honest, guys, I mean, we actually mentioned earlier in the show, I think you did, Richard. I mean, this is the only MCU picture this year. And just the sheer hype of the Fox characters really cementing themselves within the MCU proper. This is a milestone, and I think it was smart of them to focus their energy on this for this year and this year alone. And I think it's gonna put Marvel right back. I don't know how much the energy will change because the internet's kind of crazy. I mean, you guys are nuts, but I'm excited, man. Leo, you got the hat on, got the fresh cap. I mean, how satisfied were you with the trailer that we did get?
Well, I got to toss it down to Richard first, man. That's our resident Deadpool fan here. I got to toss it down to Richard, man. What did you think of that trailer? Yeah, man, this guy's got the chair. He's got the hoodie. I got to toss it down to Richard first.
Oh, man. I won't lie. This trailer was everything I wanted it to be for Deadpool and Wolverine, which is officially called Deadpool and Wolverine now. I love the title. I mean, I had a few different titles going on in my mind, but this one was perfect. I loved every single bit of this trailer. It's funny. I'm surprised and I'm not surprised that it broke the record for the most viewed trailer ever over No Way Home. And shout out No Way Home too. I mean, Deadpool and Spidey are my two favorite comic book characters ever. But I just cannot wait for everything that is coming in this movie. I think Ryan Reynolds is the perfect person to have leading your only MCU movie of the year, because I think there has been no better actor to character match, arguably in movie history, than Ryan Reynolds to Deadpool. Like, he knows this character back and forth. Every inch of this character, Ryan Reynolds is on the pulse of Deadpool. And this trailer was just amazing. We got the TVA involved. We got freaking Pyro back, confirmed from the X-Men movies. I'm honestly really, really happy that we didn't get a lot of Wolverine.
Same.
Chink coming out, that was amazing. And then, of course, we got the patch version of Wolverine coming, which I think is going to be super cool. I can't wait to see how many Wolverine variants and Deadpool variants are going to be in this movie. I won't lie, I'm not sure if I've ever been more hyped for a Marvel movie or an MCU movie, maybe ever. Like, this one, I think is gonna blow the MCU and everything coming this year out of the water. I said on Twitter that I think I'm gonna almost guarantee that this is gonna be the highest grossing R-rated movie ever. Because right now it's Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, which made just a little bit over $1 billion. I think that with this being the only MCU movie of the year, and with how much hype this trailer is bringing, I'd be shocked if it doesn't break that record. I think we're in for such a good movie here. I mean, I want to be right so badly because I love Deadpool and I love everything coming in this movie. Just give me this movie already.
Ooh, you cooking with that, man. Listen, I think
I'll say this: nobody is going to hype this movie up more than me. I can almost guarantee that. Maybe my friend Adam Blevins, who just went to Screen Rant, he's just about as big of a Deadpool fan as I am. But yeah, other than that, I don't know.
Yeah, Deadpool, man. What's so nice about Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds is that Rob Liefeld, before Ryan was even involved, called him the crossover between Ryan Reynolds and a Sharpay. And they make the joke in the first movie. It's Ryan Reynolds. Like, this was just a match made in heaven for like comic book movie casting. It has been wonderful through both Deadpool 1 and 2. And then you got 3 here. And the trailer has just been everything I could have wanted, to be honest with you. Like, I'm with you, Richard. I'm okay with Wolverine barely being in this. We're going to get another trailer. He's going to be in that.
He's going to be in the second one a lot.
Yeah, he's going to be in that second final trailer. So it's like, I'm totally okay with them coming out the gate without barely any Wolverine and just letting it really focus on Wade Wilson, where he's at in life, bringing Vanessa back. And of course, like after he did that post-credit revival in Deadpool 2, I like that they continue from that too. So it's honestly, this is a great trailer. It's gory, it's bloody, it's clearly R-rated, and I'm glad they did not hold back and, you know, try to PG-13 it or anything like that. And Kevin Feige said years ago it's going to still be rated R, but I mean, it is rated R. Like, holy shit, we get the
Pegging
same.
isn't new for me, friend, but it is for Disney.
So good. Like, I'm just so excited for this movie because I remember when it came into the MCU, we were all a little worried about maybe a PG-13 rating or something like that, but it just is like, we've got good thing after good thing after good thing about this. Wolverine getting involved, and now the Fox Universe characters being in this, and we're going to have X-Men in this. And it's just, there's so many good things that are going to be going on. And on top of that, Ryan Reynolds' signature humor as Deadpool is just going to be the icing on top of the cake. It's phenomenal. I'm so hyped for this trailer, for this movie, honestly. And I'm feeling like it could be in the 800 range, but I'm hoping for the sake of Deadpool, Marvel, the MCU, I hope it gets $1 billion. I hope
because the first two I think were right in the 780 range, and those were the first two were right in line with kind of each other. I just think the MCU of it all, like adding all these old characters and everything, and it being in the MCU, and with this trailer gaining so many views, I think it's got the right ingredients to do it.
It could. I definitely think it has. I think it's possible for sure.
Yeah, and if I'm wrong, I'll admit I'm wrong, but I really hope I'm not.
And I think with this one too, I think with it being in the MCU, you'll kind of have maybe some parents kind of like ease up on the R rating and be like, oh, you know, it's just a comic book movie. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
fine. Like, there's a little bit of gore and blood in there, but yeah, it's comic book. I think they'll ease up a little bit and go with the
Marvel Studios name.
Yeah. We're probably not going to see any sex scenes with Vanessa and Wade.
Right.
But to your guys' point, as someone that doesn't like trailers that show too much, I was also fine with not seeing Logan. I just thought that was pretty funny, but it does build up the hype. It's just like kind of a slow burn now for casuals that are just hearing about this for the first time. So this is fantastic news, guys. This is so exciting. Just realizing this is around the corner, I'm just getting all giddy, and it's going to be ridiculous. I think they're going to have a lot of fun with the variants, the same way that Loki did with Alligator Loki, Classic Loki, Kid Loki, even Sophie herself. So I think we're going to get a lot of Logan and Wade, and it's going to be bonkers. So I think it's going to be fun. And with that being said, let's switch tracks a little bit to the streaming world. And this is pretty monumental, especially if this goes through. Paramount Plus and Peacock are in early talks to possibly combine forces like Voltron and combine their respective streaming platforms. And just for reference, I mean, there's a lot of good content on Paramount Plus. I know some people aren't familiar, but I mean, I'm crazy about Star Trek right now, so I've been watching a lot of Star Trek. They got Nickelodeon. I've been watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, the original series on Paramount Plus. They also have Showtime on their banner, and it's exciting. I think combining with Peacock, I mean, I don't really watch Peacock that much, but I think this will be a win. I think the less streaming services we have, the better. So I don't mind some of these companies kind of merging and combining their content, because to be honest, I like some things on Peacock, but I almost never watch Peacock. So So this will be one way for me to get eyeballs on it a little bit more. But let me toss this down to you, Leo. Do you have any more details on this merger? Or do you think this is going to happen?
Yeah, I know Paramount had kind of been shopping around a couple of places. I know Apple TV was one of them in the discussion. I don't think Prime was, but it was like Peacock, Apple TV, and somebody else. Oh my God.
I'm so
There we
sorry.
go.
No, hey, the internet never
Thanks,
fails.
Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler, thank you. Let's go Paracock. And the first thing I saw when this news came up was Paramount Cock. So,
oh, Lord.
Man, it's going to be quite the renaming going on. And even if you go the opposite route, you're like P Paramount, it's like, ooh, that doesn't sound much better. So
they could just, I mean, both of them start with P. They could just call it P, but
P plus. Yeah, a Peacock, barely on it. Paramount Plus, I'm on for NFL. So I use Paramount Plus religiously for that reason. And then, Avatar, some old Nickelodeon reruns.
Mission Impossible. They got the entire saga of Mission Impossible on there too.
That too. So I almost feel like Peacock needs Paramount more than opposite. So I'm like a little surprised, I think, but go ahead and merge them together. Then we've got the Peacock library somewhere because I'm barely on Peacock, y'all, for a couple games a year. And then not really. I don't watch the Yellowstone stuff. So I'm not on Peacock much.
Yeah. And I was going to say, I'm not really a Halo fan. I guess Paramount has the Halo series, I guess. I don't know.
Season 2, I heard, was a step up, but season 1,
rough.
Horrible. I mean, just not even anything like the games, but that's a whole other discussion. Go ahead and merge these, or it would be cool to do Paramount and Apple. I think that would be a hell of a merger because Apple's got some great stuff in its library that I feel like not enough people see. So maybe Paramount would help bring that catalog up. Oh my God.
Tyler is on fire right now.
He is on fire.
Yes. And also to jump on your piggyback on that, Leo, he said he wants Ted to join Sonic. I support this decision, even though Ted Lasso is more or less done. Or are we talking about Ted the Bear?
I think Ted the Bear. Yeah.
Oh, that's even better.
Oh my God.
Let's go.
Yes, I would be so in on that. I have a soft spot for the Ted movies. I went to school in Boston, and I know where they filmed just about all of those. I don't have parents on account of a teddy bear that came to life.
Richard, man, you're killing it with the voices, man. But look, Seth MacFarlane and Sonic going back to forth. Let's do that. That's
oh my God, give me all of that.
Yeah, take my money. Right, I will subscribe immediately.
Same.
But how do you feel about this, Richard? Do you think this is a pretty big merger? Are you familiar with either streaming service?
You know what's funny is actually I don't watch Peacock for a lot for the new stuff, but I go through like Brooklyn Nine-Nine reruns and Psych is on there, which is probably like one of my top 3 favorite TV shows ever. So I'm on Peacock. I'm actually on Peacock probably more than I'm on Paramount Plus, but I do like both services. It's so interesting too because there's this whole big thing about like you don't want like one company to own too much, but then it does make it easier on consumers if you only have to have one service if you combine Peacock and Paramount. So it's gonna be a tough line to walk, but I'm curious to see how it all works out in the end. It's probably gonna end up happening, but it'll make it easier on us, having to do one service. So we'll see.
You know what's interesting too is I think Max is the best reference because I think no matter what, if there's a fan of a respective franchise or show or movie, the people will watch it. And I think what's interesting is like with Max, I don't watch anything on the Discovery side.
Nothing,
but,
man. I'm beyond that.
Me neither.
Beyonce.
Okay, well, I mean, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I got into HBO Max for stuff like Succession and their tentpole shows. So I'm just gonna watch the HBO stuff. So it's just interesting. Like, the mergers don't always matter to me. It's just like I'm focused on the content that I like. So,
yeah, for sure.
But this is huge, and this is early talks. Nothing set in stone, but we'll see what happens with Paramount Plus. And to close out the roundup tonight, guys, this is pretty cool. Ben Wang is the new Karate Kid, and he will star alongside Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio in a brand new film. If you guys don't remember, or if you guys haven't seen it, Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan in the picture there, did like a YouTube thing when they were like announcing like this search for the next Karate Kid. So I don't know if this was supposed to be like a marketing viral gimmick, but I don't think it worked out that well because I didn't hear much about it afterwards. And I was looking at some of the stills of Ben Wang. It looks like he's kind of already an up and coming actor. I don't think he's like a random unknown at this point, but no, regardless, this is exciting. I love the Karate Kid films. I love Cobra Kai. Me and Leo, the last time we talked about this, we're kind of gushing over the fact that we might just see Cobra Kai kind of merge into this film, maybe, or maybe have some kind of crossover at the end of Cobra Kai. Who knows? But with that, with that being said, Leo, take it away, man. Do you know anything about Ben Wang? Are you familiar with this kid?
So he's in American Born Chinese on Disney Plus. I gotta check out that series. I heard it's a phenomenal show.
Me too.
So I really want to check that out to see this guy. But I heard it's such a good show. Man, I'm just excited for some more Karate Kid because Cobra Kai has been phenomenal the whole run through. So if it's anything like that, which I'm sure it will be, I'm very excited for this, man. Like, we got our Karate Kid. We're there. We're here. I'm super down for it. I'm ready to see how season 6 ties into this too, and how we get from season 6 to this movie. Because, man, Cobra Kai has been nothing but hype.
Right. And I think the most interesting thing is like between Daniel-san and Mr. Han, I'm kind of curious how their paths cross. Because I mean, I'm on board for it, but I just hope they tie it up nice and neat. We'll see. Maybe Mr. Han's an old buddy of Miyagi. Who knows?
That's what I feel like. Yeah, like he's an old buddy with Miyagi, and it's like, oh yeah, like they bump into one another through that connection. That'd be great.
Right. And I mean, it would feel really weird without Pat Morita, but that might be interesting. Maybe we get like a flashback of them just really like a lot younger and see them, Han and Miyagi together. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows? But let me toss this down to you, Richard. Are you a Karate Kid fan? And how do you feel about this news?
I have definitely a little bit of a Karate Kid fan. I need to get to Cobra Kai. That's been on my list forever. But I love the original movies. Obviously, Ralph Macchio and that crew are amazing. This should be fun. I never thought that we would get a Karate Kid cinematic universe. That was on my bingo card of like franchises that I ever thought would not only form but still exist in 2024. But I'm excited. I mean, all I've heard is fantastic things about Cobra Kai. I'm really excited to get into it at some point. And Ben Wang seems awesome. He's also in the new Mean Girls musical movie that just came out. I just looked up his credits because I was curious to see what he's in, and he's listed in the new Mean Girls movie. So he's really coming up. I think he's only got like 10 credits on his resume so far over the last like 4 or 5 years, but definitely a big rising star. I mean, I feel like Jackie Chan's probably the perfect person to introduce into this movie, based on his entire career of doing stuff. I mean, loved him in Rush Hour and all those different movies that he's been in. So no, give me some more Cobra Kai, give me some more Karate Kid. I'm down. Can't wait to see it.
So Elliot's saying anything Karate Kid is going to have him seated. He said Ben Wang was an American-born Chinese, which was based on a graphic novel. I didn't know that. I thought it was an original.
Okay,
series,
cool.
So. And I guess he did some of his own martial arts, so I guess this is definitely in his wheelhouse.
Awesome.
That gets me hyped for sure.
Tyler said, "Let Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan fight."
Totally.
Tyler is just stirring the pot tonight. And I'll say this, you kind of hit the nail on the head there, Richard. Like, I never thought we'd see this random cinematic universe, but if they're gonna do it, screw it. Let's have Hilary Swank pop in here. Like,
she's right. In Cobra Kai season 6. Like, everybody's chanting for that, man.
Oh man!
Like, just bring everybody. Let's have the monks come back. The monks were like bowling. This is great, man. So I mean, who knows? This I like you said, I never would imagine from the original Karate Kid we would have this like TV show and it's just all this lore now. This is crazy. But yeah, this sounds like fun. And with that being said, that wraps up our roundup.
All right, y'all, and we're headed to our last segment of the evening. That is what's up, guys? Welcome to Movies and Shows of the Week. We're just talking a couple of movies we saw throughout the week. Lo, you saw a good little movie here, Amélie. Tell the people what you thought about it, man.
Oh, yes, yes. It was very much French cinema. It was beautiful, directed by Jean-Pierre Jeunet. And I haven't revisited this film. This film came out in 2001. And I was telling Leo the other night when I saw it, I mean, it was that era of like Renaissance filmmaking, you know, like Paul Thomas Anderson was new to the scene. The Matrix just came out. There was a lot of exciting filmmaking happening. City of God dropped the next year, and Christopher Nolan did Memento the next year, and there was a lot of exciting filmmaking around this time. And Amelie is, anyone hasn't seen it, it's just a wonderful character study of this quirky, really weird girl, but it also intertwines a lot of interesting characters around her. The title character is played by Audrey Tautou. She didn't have too much of a career after this. She was in a couple other films, but her look, she just reminds me of Audrey Hepburn, who I love, if that's not obvious. And like, she just has this charm that really shines in this film. And you guys, if you guys haven't seen it, it's really like well written. It's hilarious. It's very adult. It's very French. And honestly, you can kind of see some of the influence here. Like, I see a lot of Wes Anderson in this film. And like I said, in that same renaissance of filmmakers, I mean, Wong Kar-wai, Wes Anderson, they all kind of came out around the same time, and they had this really fresh filmmaking voice. And I think for cinephiles and film fans, Amelie is 1000% worth a watch. It's really fun. It's got some really cool camera techniques, some like amazing one shots, and like kind of like Wes Anderson, he's got some really interesting symmetrical shots where it's just really gorgeous with his like center framing and kind of like, you know, really obscure angles and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a fun watch. I got to catch it in theaters. I'm not sure how long it's going to be in theaters, but I did see it at AMC. So if you guys get a chance, check it out.
Awesome, man. Yeah, it's at my local Alamo Draft House, so I'll definitely be checking it out the moment I get a chance. But we're gonna close out the show with this one. And Richard, I had to ask you, man. we got to briefly just I gotta briefly
this
just
won't
talk
take
a little
long,
bit
guys.
about Madam Web.
This will not take long.
Let me know your thoughts, man. How did you feel about Madam Web? Getting around to seeing that was wow, wasn't
it? This movie, it should almost be a war crime how bad this movie is. I'm so sorry. No disrespect to any of the filmmakers. I'll say this: Sydney Sweeney, you deserved better.
Yes.
Celeste O'Connor, you deserved better. Isabella Merced, you deserved so much better. This movie is just awful. Like, there are a couple of small moments where you get a chuckle here and there. Thank the Lord it's, you know, an hour and 56 minutes. I mean, it's a short one, and there's no post-credit scene. Thank God, to be perfectly honest. You can dip right after the credits roll. It's just Sony, it just looked like Sony put little to no effort in making this movie. I don't know how much we want to go into like spoilers or anything. One is not really a spoiler, but the villain of this movie, they screwed up so badly on the ADR for him. And for those of you who are not familiar with ADR is, it's just like making sure that the words that are coming out of his mouth match what his mouth are saying. And I swear, like 95% of the time, either his mouth was hidden, so they didn't even have to worry about it, or it just did not look like what he was physically doing with his mouth was making the words that was supposed to come out of them. And the dialogue was bad. I mean, I'm sure Dakota Johnson, there are movies where she is good, but this was just not one of them. They just, I mean, and even for this should have been like a fun nostalgia ride, because for those of you who don't know, it takes place in 2003. And you know, for those of you who don't know going this movie, you will know that it takes place in 2003 in this movie, like within about 3 seconds. And another person I feel bad for is Adam Scott, because I really do like Adam Scott a lot. And he was in this movie. This one was so bad. I feel so horrible for going in so hard on this one. but this is not one that I'm going to be going to see again. It did not set off the superhero trend on the right direction. I just really hope for those of you watching out there who think this is a Marvel movie, this is a Sony Marvel movie, not a Marvel Studios movie. However you feel about Quantumania and the Marvels, which I liked, I know I'm in the minority for a lot of people. This is not the same company that made those movies. It is not the same company that made Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which is one of my favorite MCU movies of all time. Go see it if you want. Just be warned. I really hope you enjoy it more than I did. I'm sorry, Sony. Please, Sony, just give the rights back to Marvel, who knows what they're doing with Spider-Man. Please, for all of our sakes.
Wait,
Please.
hold on. So you're telling me Adam Scott's washboard abs could not save this picture? No, I was remember Step Brothers.
Oh man,
Man, it's sad that like really nothing could save this movie. Like it's not even so bad that it's good. It's just like so bad. Like the dialogue's bad, the cinematography's bad. The way that the clairvoyance is depicted is very just visually bad. It
almost makes you like physically uncomfortable watching the clairvoyant stuff. Like it messed with my head a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on? It's confusing. And then you've got this lore involved around these spider people that just doesn't add anything to the film. It's just a mess from beginning to end. And what's so upsetting is that there is a good idea here. I mean, there is this great idea of like, okay, Madam Web unites 3 Spider Women. They take on this dark Spider-Man guy. That sounds really cool. I'm like, okay, that's a cool idea. Something different from what they've been doing. No, that's not the movie at all. It's not the movie. And I listen, that's maybe a little spoilery territory, but I'm giving you a warning and a heads up. That's just not what you're going to get.
Yeah.
It's so unfortunate because the suits and the trailers look great. And then when you realize you're watching the movie, you're like,
expect a lot from the suits. That is all I'm going to say without going into spoiler territory.
Don't expect a lot because let me tell you, man, I'm rolling into this. They're releasing trailers and marketing and posters and stuff with them all in the suits. I'm like, okay, the suits look pretty dope. I mean, Sydney Sweeney's especially looked like Julia Carpenter's Spider-Woman suit. I was like, this is great. This looks awesome. They're barely in the movie, guys. Barely in the movie. I'm so upset with the potential that could have been here. And I'm sorry, Dakota Johnson, not good. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Honestly, most of the people in this movie not good. But what's funny is Adam Scott was good, and he's barely in it. I just,
yeah.
So just going off your guys' energy,
real quickly.
really. Okay, go ahead.
Just really quickly, I heard something from my brother who's really into this movie space too. He actually works in like editing trailers and everything, so he's really in this space. He said something, I think this is true, that Dakota Johnson literally fired her agent and changed agencies like the day that the Madam Web trailer dropped, because and that's partly why I actually feel bad for her, regardless of her performance in the movie. Like she and all of the actors in this movie did not deserve this. It's just awful.
And you know what's funny is like my favorite acting performances are barely in the movie, and that's Adam Scott and Emma Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't know what movie y'all in, but y'all in a different movie than all this mumbo jumbo because the stuff with the two of them, I was like, okay. By the way, they're gonna beat you over the head with Spider-Man references without actually saying Spider-Man at all. So it's gonna be like Spider people, all this. Why was Ezekiel Sims even wearing the suit? Like, I'm like, why is he
really quickly? Based off of your guys' energy and reactions, I'm a huge fan of Tommy Wiseau's The Room. I have my mug here. Honestly,
you're tearing me apart, Lisa.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Is Madame Web better than The Room?
Listen, here's what I'll say about The Room. At least it's enjoyably bad. Like the Room
that's what
is
I'm saying.
Very enjoyably bad.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Like, have a couple of scenes where I'm not gonna front with you. I was laughing unintentionally, and at least with The Room, it's like, it's bad, but you know what? I can have fun with it. It's quotable. It's funny. Madam Web, not the same laughing.
Yeah. Like I don't know how you guys feel about the Venom movies. I know they're not like horrible movies, but they're not great. They are funny as hell. Like mostly just because of Tom Hardy and like the energy that he brings. I wish this movie had 1% of what Tom Hardy brought to the Venom movies.
I was begging for something. Scrapping. I mean, like I'm just reaching for scraps the whole movie. I'm like something. And at least even in Morbius, you got Matt Smith doing that goofy little dance and stuff. I'm like, they know.
And that's Morbius.
Yeah. It's like they know a little to have this goofy fun that it's like, okay, the Venom movies capture well with Eddie Brock, especially in the second one. I didn't like those movies, but I liked him a lot. And I thought Venom and Eddie bantering and their love affair is fun and it's funny.
Yeah,
I love to watch the two of them.
The relationship between Eddie Brock and Venom is one of the most entertaining things I've probably ever seen, regardless of how good the movie is.
If Sydney Sweeney,
oh my god, yes,
yeah, she's got to be Black Cat, man. Like, just that's okay. I would 100% be okay with them just doing this and saying, Adam, who? Forget it.
I was gonna say the window's not closed on this. Like, we could still do that.
She would be like the best version of Black Cat. I would love seeing her in that.
Yes, so
yeah,
good.
She would nail Felicia Hardy.
Yep, John Lee seeing it.
Yeah.
Dakota Johnson said she still hasn't seen the movie. Would you? I mean, look, man, with how that trailer looked, she already was like,
I'm out. Yeah.
Hey, I don't know if you guys saw the clip, but apparently she thinks No Way Home was called Spider-Man and the Goblet of Fire.
That was just ridiculous. Oh man.
The best part of Madam Web was Dakota Johnson's press tour, honestly.
Oh my god.
The best part of
it. That was an entertaining press tour.
Like, she played it straight, but you could tell she could give two shits about that movie.
Remember the one where the earthquake happened during your interview? That was like probably one of the most exciting things that happened in the entire Madam Web experience.
He said he couldn't buy Sydney Sweeney as a homely nerd loner girl.
Nope. Yeah.
Not at all.
Not even sort of.
And it's like, I don't know. She would have been a pretty cool Julia Carpenter if this script and screenplay was better.
Actually, Julia Carpenter.
Yeah, I'm like, who the heck is Julia Cornball? I'm like, dude, I just, this whole movie fundamentally missed the mark on every level. And that's sad to say, because with this property, all you got to do is make 3 Spider-Women the center of this movie, and boom, you got a fucking awesome Spider-Woman movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hell, get Haley Steinfeld to do a live action Gwen Stacy. I would be all over that.
God, I'd be so down for that.
Yeah.
So down.
Yeah.
But y'all, Madam Web, whew, disappointing is an understatement. Absolute understatement, y'all. So go with that with caution.
Take with that what you will.
Yeah. It's like, oh, that one's going to be pretty rough. But Richard, thank you so much for joining us this evening, man. It's been awesome chopping it up about Marvel and movie news with you, man. Let the people know where they can find you and what's coming up over on the Direct.
Well, thank you guys so much again for having me. This was an absolute blast. Hopefully I get to do this with you guys again sometime. Yeah, you can find me at thedirect.com. You can find me on social media at Richard Nebens, just like it's spelled on the screen. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, mostly on Twitter, but working on my other social channels. I write as much as I possibly can, mostly about Marvel, Star Wars, DC, but the Direct is expanding into a whole lot of different stuff, covering the entire movie sphere. And I'm looking forward to a really fun year. Obviously, you're not gonna find a bigger Deadpool 3 fan than me on social media. If you've seen my last couple of days, I cannot wait to just talk all about that movie all the freaking time. If you want to go back in the last week, I've been on 3 other shows doing it. The Direct podcast, my guys, Matt Remke and David Thompson, had a fun chat with them about it. The Vigilante Vibes podcast, they did a great job. We got to talk about Deadpool and Fantastic Four, and I did a live stream yesterday with the Illuminati on their new show, High Opinions, which just started last week, and we had a really fun time there. My old guys at the Illuminati. But yeah, just keep an eye out for the direct.com. Take a look there. I'm the senior writer and an assistant editor there. And again, thank you guys again so much for having me. You are such a blast, and can't wait to do this again soon. Can't wait for the rest of this year.
Man, we'll definitely be doing it again, man. It was awesome having you. And y'all definitely go follow Richard on social media and follow his other podcast that he's been on, y'all. Man, this guy's been talking up Deadpool, and I'm about to go watch some content after this, man. I'm about to go watch I think I'll go watch the direct stuff because I like Matt, man. He used to be out here in Denver, so we used to chop it up at screenings all the time. So yeah, I'll definitely go check it out.
Matt Remke is one of my favorite people in this space. He has some of the best opinions, some of the best commentary on movies and stuff. If you've never heard his movies or sports analogies on Twitter, please go check out his Twitter page. It's so one of the greatest things ever. I love Matt Remke to death. He's one of my favorite people. And shout out David Thompson too, because they run one of the best podcasts in the business on the Direct Podcast. They do such a good job.
I love to hear that, man. Yeah, Matt used to be out here in Denver. We would just chop it up at screenings, man. It was always a pleasure.
So awesome.
Matt. He's got great energy. Really good guy, man.
Agreed.
Lo, let us know what's coming up on your channels and where the people can find you, man.
Y'all can follow me on Twitter and Letterboxd at Marcellus Durden. I finally updated my letterbox after a few months. I'm a proud editor, critic, and reporter for The Cinema Spot. Check us out at thecinemasspot.com and all socials at The Cinema Spot. We have so many reviews. I mean, my managing editor, John's got Mr. and Mrs. Smith season 1 review, the Vince Staples show review. We do have a review out for Madame Web, and I actually got on board this year with Lisa Frankenstein, which I adored. I really hope more people go watch Lisa Frankenstein. That could have been in our movie segment as well. It's a wonderful 80s throwback rom-com starring Catherine Newton and Cole Sprouse and an up-and-coming Filipino-American actress, Liza Soberano. So check that out. I have a review for Lisa Frankenstein, and also I will be reviewing Stop Motion. It's like a horror flick coming out for IFC. That'll be coming up this week. So check it out at thecinemasspot.com.
Y'all go follow Lo over on Twitter at Marcellus Durden and follow his work over at The Cinema Spot. This guy writes amazing reviews, and y'all, his commentary on film is great. I mean, his perspective on film, and man, you're such a big film nerd. I love hearing you talk about movies because you're so passionate about it, and you just have some of the greatest references. I'm like, man, this guy just knows his shit. So y'all definitely go follow Lo over on his social media platforms. And if you're new to this channel, welcome in. This is the Geekly Goods live channel, which is the live branch of the main channel at Geekly Goods. You can follow me over there while I'm breaking down all kind of news on the MCU, DCU, and more, guys, doing movie reviews. And I've got a review coming up for Avatar: The Last Airbender. I didn't talk about it much here on tonight because I can only talk about episode 1, and it's very hard to stay constricted to episode 1. So far, it's not too bad. I've got some issues from episode 1 alone. So definitely go check out my reaction over there, over on the main channel at Geekly Goods. And then come on back for the review later this week. I will be seeing Dune 2 as well, guys. And I'm so hyped for that movie. I mean, it just looks phenomenal. And all the comments on it, it has just been getting universal acclaim already. So definitely come on over to the channel, guys. But Richard, thanks again for joining us. Y'all, we'll be here same time, same place next week. And we'll see y'all next time on Geekly Goods. Oh.